All right, so we are in the process of trying to figure out where we want to film our A-roll. We've talked about a couple things in our interview section, but now it's actually trying to make a good effort in what we want for the backdrop and what we want to make it look like.
Before we get started, we'd like you to go to the link below and download so you can follow along as we talk about pre-production, production, and post-production. Filming can be overwhelming, especially if you're new to it. Now don't worry, because this happens at any level of filmmaker. In this section, we'll give you the tools that you'll need to get the shots that you need.
So now we're talking camera angles. We have our A-roll, our B-roll, lighting, and then of course release forms.
Yep.
Let's talk camera angles first. A-roll is your primary footage. This is the shot of your interviewee. Consider using the rule of thirds in this shot to make it look nice. Here are a few examples of how to use the rule of thirds.
It's important to create depth of field in your shots. This is where your subject is in focus and the background is blurry.
Consider using a 3-point lighting system to light your subject.
Lighting is very important when it comes to your A-roll. This helps add depth to your shot, which helps ultimately make it look more professional.
Be sure that your subject, or the person you're interviewing, isn't looking at the camera and they're looking at you, the interviewer.
Consider the appearance of the interviewee. Allow them to check their outfit, clean their face, whatever they have to do to feel the most comfortable on set.
Here are a few other tips for getting the perfect shot.
Now it's time for a little exercise. Imagine your eyes are now cameras. Take your right hand with your right index finger, hold it as far as you can in front of you, like this. Now, as you'll notice if you look at your finger, it's blending pretty well with the background. Now, as you move it closer, and while closing your left eye, you move your finger closer and you notice that the background gets blurrier and your finger is still in focus. If you move it further out, you'll notice that the background gets less blurry. This is a prime example of how depth of field works with your cameras. Keep this in mind as you're taking your shots for your project. A shot that I have in mind is definitely in our background, having it a little bit blurrier, so having a little bit more depth of field.
Yeah.
But it's also important for that background, I think, to highlight what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So in this case, I would put him in front of the targets, the axe throwing targets, and then have that blurred out in the background.
Yeah.
And then that way, when people see him on screen, they know right away that he's an axe thrower. B-roll is the secondary footage, or the cutaway footage. This helps provide visual aid for your story. This is footage of people, places, and things to aid your interview. For example, if your interviewee talks about their favorite food, it would be a good idea to get footage of that food. Consider the rule of thirds for these shots as well.
When shooting B-roll, be sure to use the rule of thirds to make sure your image looks perfect. And also think about why you're capturing what you are capturing. It should support what is ever being said in your A-roll. And now time for another mini game. Let's compare and contrast and see if you can spot which of these clips is A-roll and which of these clips is B-roll. Which of these clips is A-roll and which of these clips is B-roll? Good work. Remember, A-roll is where the person is being interviewed. It's your primary footage. And B-roll is the supporting clips or footage that help support what the person's saying.
In the film world, there's many different types of shots you can get. In this section, we're only going to be focusing on 3.
The 3 most standard shots you could get are a wide shot, medium shot, and a close-up. A wide shot is a shot that shows your entire subject or the person you're filming and the setting of which it's taking place. A medium shot helps show the character's body language and even more details of the setting. Close-up is used to show the detail and emotion of the character.
We hope this information helps you when you're getting your shots. Remember, it's important to have plenty of B-roll to support your interview. Now, don't be discouraged if you run into problems along the way. This is normal and it happens, so take the time that you need to get the shots that you need.
Time for all of us to make a shot list so you know which B-roll you're going to get to overlay over top of your A-roll. And we make them simple. You can make them as advanced as you want. We've seen what the film industry looks like with it's like
very specific.
Yeah, and yeah, it's nice to have all that specific stuff, but we find that we don't need it that specific all the time.
All the time, yeah.
You know, and for majority of the shoots, you can do it simply with just bullet points.
Yep.
And going down and saying, what shot do you want? Oh, we want a close-up of the axe target, and we're just gonna get slow motion. Now that you have the shot list in front of you, I'm gonna pick a topic, and you guys write down the shots that you would have in your story. If I was to pick a topic about a school, what would your wide shot be? Now, what would you have for a medium shot? And now for a close-up. What would you put for a close-up in your story? Good work, guys. Keep these tips in mind as you start your own shot list on your own topic.